for sure. Very, very impressive. But let's get ahead and introduce our players here. For the first set of the second series of today, owning on the top right hand corner of Jaganafa is the blue Zerg player rocking that Alpha X banner, our very own player. He is RAGNAROK.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map is the red Terran player from no team at all.
Yep.
From his own team, I guess.
Representing himself.
Yeah, representing himself 100%. It is BYUN.
As Wagger would say it is a strong and independent man who needs no team.
Unsullied by sponsors.
Yeah. So we're in Jaganafa, huge map. A little bit favorite for Zerg players just due to the huge rush distance and tons of open areas and places in which you can get some good engagement. BYUN is gonna try to stop RAGNAROK from growing too strong too early. Gonna start off both players with some kind of standard openers. Hatch gas pool on one side, Reaper expand on the other. But I'm more excited to see how BYUN decides to handle the mid game more than anything else.
Yeah, I think like once BYUN gets into the flow of just kind of microing like 2-3 army forces, just kind of harassing everywhere, I think that's when BYUN is at its strongest. But RAGNAROK, he has some pretty good defensive gameplay as well, so we'll see if he can kind of deal with that if that happens. But in the meantime, we do see a little bit of a Reaper harass. Does kill one Ling, but besides that, doesn't really get too much done.
The Queen was kind of late on RAGNAROK's side. I don't know what went on there for this Queen to be this late. The Reaper is gonna escape afterwards. And no Crypt Tumor, just double inject on the side of RAGNAROK. He wants to push more drones through before getting his creep spread ahead, and the Reaper will not try to stop RAGNAROK from getting a third as well.
Alright, Reaper gonna go ahead and attempt to go into the main base to scout, see if there's like an early lair of some sort, maybe an early Roach Warren, but doesn't quite scout far enough to get all that.
It's gonna be Overlord Speed on the side of RAGNAROK. An upgrade I like it a lot. Like I feel like this is one upgrade that is very much underestimated by most of the scene, and Overlord Speed just pays off itself very quickly. Like I used to think like this was an upgrade that just lets you see what is about to kill you, but I then changed my mind, especially on larger maps. It is very easy to keep the Overlord alive, and that already is a lot. Like getting this scouting just at the right time, seeing that Banshee clock being researched is just exactly what he needs. This Overlord is not gonna die as well, and it's a full scout on RAGNAROK's side, and he didn't really have to pay much for it. He's gonna have one less Queen for a little while, but he's gonna know for sure what is about to happen, and knowing that Banshee clock is about to come to his side on the map is gonna lead him to a very much cleaner mid-game scenario. Dropping the early lair, dropping the Spore Callers alike, and every piece of the puzzle is getting there for RAGNAROK.
Yeah, really important to scout what your opponent's going for so that you can prepare in time, so you can know, maybe he's going for, you know, a battle cruiser rush. Okay, maybe I could just pump out a lot of queens, maybe drone a lot, because really you only need queens to defend the battle cruiser, right? So, or it could be like a 3 racks, or no, 2-1-1 build where there's a double medevac marine coming. You can go ahead and just start, you know, halting drone production and then produce all those lings and maybe roaches to kind of defend. But in the meantime, we do see the Helen is going to go ahead and poke in here at the third, while the Banshee is kind of parked between the main and the natural.
Yeah, I feel like that is the best thing that you can do. I love that RAGNAROK also sent the Overlord back in to confirm the information he got. These drones transferring from the main to the other bases are gonna get denied by the Banshee, which is some clever moves from BYUN. Banshee is still gonna go down, 4 kills in the end, and these aliens are really not finding any leverage to start and make some interesting damage happen. And BYUN just gonna get one more drone with the Banshee. This queen is very bruised, but the Overseer is gonna come out soon enough to shoo it away again. Now there are links ready to stop the aliens, but the aliens are kind of diving into the natural. Not the cleverest choice out of BYUN is gonna be shooed away, and RAGNAROK gonna drop down the double Evo chamber, drop down a lot of gas actually. He's collecting a lot of Vespin, and right now gonna get double upgrades, Baneling speed. He's getting a little bit of everything, but I feel like he's feeling pretty much safe, and with good reasons. His defense was very clean.
Oh yeah, actually gets a surround on these Hellions, get the majority of them. What a nice pick off there by RAGNAROK.
Yeah, these aliens surely are not gonna get much more scouting or damage alike. And now a Spire goes down instantly after that on RAGNAROK's side. And what does BYUN have to deal with that? It's gonna start and send a couple Mediocs through the map, start dropping left and right, maybe try to get even more damage with his Banshee. But RAGNAROK is looking very, very strong defensively.
Yeah, so far he hasn't really suffered too much from these harasses, but I mean, if BYUN can keep doing it over and over again, once more, he can possibly find an opening somehow. But Baneling speed has finished, so it's gonna make defending these attacks much more easier.
And creep spread is getting pretty much in its place as well. RAGNAROK creep spread is looking a tiny bit better than it actually usually is. It's spreading creep a little bit more, and on such a huge map, it's gonna be more and more important. Time goes on. It's gonna get the 4th base on the top left-hand corner instead of next to the main, and another surround kind of goes down. Good focus fire by BYUN on the Banelings, gonna catch a couple before they can deal any damage. Now the players are on the same work account, but with these 12 mutas being out, that maybe won't last. There's no missile turret in the natural and in the main. There's only one in the 3rd. And a bunch of Marines are marching through the map. This is an army that can deal some damage. But the mutas are completely unscouted right now. Oh, they're flying just past it. Oh, that's all.
Look at that reaction time. Does only lose a 1 Mulus. Could have been worse, by the way.
Yeah, it could have been worse, but that was still a pretty unlucky scenario for the Zerg player. Immediately a Tori is going to be made, drilling close for Widow Mines. Look at how many workers RAGNAROK is making right now. It's gonna be saturating that 4th base instantly. And now he only needs a couple more Banelings to deal with this army, really. Oh, going out of creep, not the best thing he can do. And right now the mutas are trying to shock down, kill at least maybe an add-on, or force some reinforcements to be left back home. That's exactly what he does. The add-on is not gonna burn down. Meanwhile, BYUN is trying to engage on the left side, forcing creep out of this ramp. So getting control of the high ground, kind of an important thing to do already. There's also a changeling giving vision over there. But RAGNAROK is sending quite a sizable amount of Zerglings down the right side of the map to get some counter damage.
This might actually be able to kind of force the lift off of this CC, which is a pretty good delay there, but nothing too significant.
It's gonna get a couple SCVs, forcing some friendly fire out of the Widow Mine, and then getting out of there. Link survived. That's pretty good. And BYUN is not looking really like he wants to head back home. He's just trying to keep creep spread as honest as possible. But RAGNAROK's army is growing. So is the one of BYUN. Upgrades are kicking in for both players. RAGNAROK is currently behind in upgrades, but +2/+2 is about to finish. And now these mutas are really trying to get some damage once +1 is done. Infestation Pit is gonna go up as well. And finally, the run by of Zerglings in the right corner. It's gonna be cleared. But BYUN had to back off a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like Ragnarok is on the offense. He's kind of controlling the game while BYUN is trying to defend all these Ling run-bys, all these Baneling run-bys, all these Mutalisk harass. So, I mean, oh no!
That's such a beautiful Baneling run-by out of Ragnarok, while the Mutas are hitting at the Planetary Fortress. A total of 24 workers have fallen down for BYUN. And dropping down 2 more command centers, trying to replenish those forces. And now Zerglings are still getting damage on top of this command center wizard. She's starting to burn down, and it is actually going to be killed by the Zerglings. That's a huge mistake on BYUN's side. Meanwhile, the main armies are clashing, and BYUN's army is not having the good engagement he was wishing for. 28 workers down, main army destroyed. Ragnarok 80 supply ahead, and he's replenishing his forces like it's no business at all. We don't mind, he's gonna get a huge shot on top of these on top of these Mutalisks. But these 2 towers are everything that stands between Ragnarok and victory, basically. The main army of the Zer player is still trying to how to say it, just replenish in some way, mostly in Banelings. Much of the Banelings were killed in that fight, but BYUN is not really looking sharp.
Yeah, hasn't been able to micro as well as we expect him to usually micro. But I mean, keep in mind, this is only just the first game, so who knows? Maybe BYUN is still waking up, but yeah, this been pretty good game overall by Ragnarok. He's kind of been able to find some really nice little openings here and there to exploit BYUN. These Mutalisks are still alive, being a pest, kind of harassing the main base, getting on top of the production building. And right now, Ragnarok is kind of playing with his food.
Yeah, he's also getting +2 for these Mutas. Oh, that's so many Baneling, by the way. He's marching down the right path of the map. And what does BYUN have against it? I'm just gonna check the units tab right now, because there are more Banelings than there are bio units for BYUN.
Oh man, this is gonna be an ugly, ugly sight there.
Banelings are trying to march their way towards the bio army, but they're gonna be content with just killing the planetary. This game is not over by any means. BYUN still has a sizable army force. Like, okay, like, these Banelings didn't get the best trade ever, and BYUN is kind of trying to do something about it. These 2 Banelings are well, not 2. These couple Banelings are gonna get some good connections. The unit stub is still heavily in favor of Ragnarok, counting out those Medivacs there, still count as supply, as army supply. But the Mutas are the real trouble right now, getting missile turrets left and right. With that +2 upgrade, as soon as it kicks in, it's gonna be a very, very pesky counter damage that is gonna happen every time. And now the Zerglings are gonna join as well here at the third base of BYUN. Another 12 SCVs are falling down. There's a Thor just coming out of that factory, but this command center is not looking like it's about to survive. Ragnarok on the other side of the map has a huge amount of Banelings, but can he deal with the army of BYUN? It's so spread out. Widowmine spread out as well. Meanwhile, 17 workers are gonna be killed, but Ragnarok has to withdraw his forces. Banelings come running past the army of BYUN, and it's time for the Mutas to come and clear everything that's left standing. The army of BYUN is steaming through the map, trying to get on top of these Mutas. More Banelings are getting through. Mutas are getting so much damage. The doors are falling down, and it looks like in the end, Ragnarok is finally gonna get a good engagement. BYUN needs to withdraw from that location. Widowmine's getting shots, and those are gonna be the most important things. This game is not really super clean by both players, but it looks like Ragnarok is gonna have the upper hand.
Yeah, that was pretty much the last Hail Mary by BYUN. Remember, his bases has been wrecked right now. I mean, he's kind of limping in terms of the economy, so that was pretty much his main only chance to kind of turn this game around while he had at least an even army supply. But now Ragnarok has bought himself enough time, able to clean that up, adding those ultralists, which is going to make things a lot harder for BYUN, and BYUN is going to have to tap out. Ragnarok will take game 1 of this series.
I have to admit, Ragnarok could have got that victory a little bit sooner than he actually did. BYUN was able to slow down Ragnarok by quite a lot. Ragnarok not really quite able to find the finishing blow. He just forced BYUN to make a push that was kind of inefficient in a way. And still, BYUN's fight was kind of crazy. He almost made it look like it was an even fight.
Yeah,
and he had better upgrades, but that was kind of it. And just Ragnarok replenishing his forces, marching through again, and the game just kind of ended.
yeah. I mean, that's the great thing about BYUN though, right? It's like, even though he's in such a deficit, he somehow, some way makes it look very, very close. He kind of reminds me of certain players like I guess maybe Su or Jaedong, where, you know, even they're behind, like they can somehow, some way, you know, make it look like it's almost even, and potentially, you know, being able to turn the game around and, you know, win the game outright. But that's kind of just tells, like, you know, the caliber of player that BYUN is.
Let's see if he manages to tie up the score here in game number 2. We're heading on Pillars of Gold. In the top right hand corner over here, the blue Zerg player is spawning, currently leading the series 1-0, playing for Alpha X. It is Ragnarok.
And spawning here at the bottom left corner of the map, it is the red Terran player. Maybe playing for Alpha X in the future. I don't know. Only one can hope. It is a BYUN.
Don't want to sell any organs for that.
You're gonna have to sell both your livers.
Oh.
Even though you have one liver, but
Yeah, that was... I mean, who knows? Maybe I have another stock somewhere.
you're gonna have to sell your liver and then kind of get yourself reborn in the afterlife, and then sell that liver too.
Yeah, maybe.
You're gonna have to donate some blood as well.
Sell my Ferrari.
Oh yeah, and your Lamborghini too.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm Italian, so of course I have both a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. No, it looks like Sushi has subscribed to the channel, which sounds pretty weird to me. So it's his East channel, but thanks Sushi.
Yeah, if you guys do want to subscribe and get those emotes, those lovely cute emotes, please do consider so. And also, actually, while we're talking about subscription, let me go ahead and because there's not really much going on in the game right now. Let me go ahead and point out that there is a Matcherino page for this event. It's the link is pinned in the top of the chat box that you can go to. Go over there quickly. You can enter the coupon code AX205 and contribute 50 cents for free to the overall prize pool. Help out the players today. And also, if you guys do want, you can actually purchase the replays for today's event. So if you want to do so, just purchase the replay in the marketplace, the replay pack, and the replays should be available soon after this event is over.
Ragnarok is getting quite a significant amount of Zerglings without getting a third. And he's sending them to the left half of the map, trying to hide them.
Yeah.
It's making even more.
Bangling's
It's starting to scare me.
Yeah, it's about to get a bit scary for BYUN very, very soon. He's got no wall off here at the natural. It's pretty much an open door policy, and Ragnarok intends to take full advantage of it.
Welcome to Banelin Bust, everybody.
When's the last time you
And
seen this, by the way?
it was a couple years ago, to say the least.
I know, right?
This is so great, though. I can't wait. This is such a good way also to exploit that BYUN never goes for a Reaper Scout. Like, it has happened so often that he didn't go for that. And right now there's no Wolof. Banelings are just gonna straight up march to the Wolof. And boom! Everything goes down. Ragnarok just has the right amount of Banelings to get here in the mineral lines, getting a lot of SCVs killed. And he's sending even more units through the map. There's also a Baneling coming. Oh, this Baneling is scary. The Banshee is dealing so much damage though. And it's gonna be enough to clear the remaining Zerglings. Still, that was significant damage. The reactor has fallen as well as it. Oh.
Wow, that was
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, alright. I'm kind of dumb. There's a Banshee. Ragnarok doesn't have anything with the Banshee.
No, nothing for the
Alright.
Banshee. Nothing really for the. I mean, basically he was on 2 base, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, he
You
would
didn't
have
have any
fallen behind.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, but could you imagine if Ragnarok had like 2 more extra Banelings after that Baneling bust in the kind of the ramp area? Because it takes I believe 5 Banelings to kill off the supply depot. But if you can get like 2 or 3 more remaining, then all those SCVs can't really be pulled to help defend because you risk losing all those SCVs to the Baneling connection. So
yeah,
but
I feel like that with the Banshee out, that was still not gonna do much.
yeah.
But it was close. It was very close. Like, it was kind of like that Banshee just being the absolute MVP, not because of the kills, but because after every single Zergling was cleared out, there was absolutely no way Ragnarok could have got anything back into that game. It would have needed to just make as many sport crawlers as possible. Couldn't afford those because he didn't have much economy, didn't have any drones at all mostly. And in the end, like, that was it. But it was very cool. Yeah. Maybe 2 more Banelings would have done the trick. Maybe not. We will never know. I'm not really sure about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll never know. But it was pretty cool to see Ragnarok pull that
cool.
old school build kind of back. We do see now that it's not the best because I guess it's just much easier to hold now, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Just having more STVs.
yeah,
makes
I mean,
it-
still gotta give props for him to kind of pull that out of the vault.
It was interesting. It was interesting. Maybe not the best map to do that. Maybe just kind of a build order victory with that starport and attack clap. But anyhow, it was very cool to see. But we're getting into game number 3. Here, in the bottom right-hand corner of Light Shade, the blue Zerg is currently spawning. The score is tied. Let's see if he manages to sneak around a victory and get to match point. Playing for Alpha X, it is Ragnarok.
And spawning at the top left corner of the map, he is the red Terran player hailing from Korea. It is BYUN.
Alright, spawning pool first from Ragnarok. Spawning pool hatch guest. Doesn't really look like anything too crazy, but he's making 6 Zerglings, he's sending them through the map, rallying them through the map, I should say. Maybe just try to slow down BYUN, try to stop him from getting the command center. These kind of decisions are looking so weird to me because Ragnarok in game number 1 was looking way more clean on his execution of a late game macro scenario. And he's decided in both games to just go all out on aggression, which is kind of the playstyle in which BYUN thrives, right?
Yeah. Man, but BYUN opens up with a Marine, so it's gonna actually work out pretty well for Ragnarok here.
That is true.
It's gonna at least definitely slow down the CC. I'm not sure if he can fully get the CC. I mean, if we can have some SCV pulls, maybe he can defend this, but it's definitely going to slow it down.
Yeah, by quite a bit as well, because like Ragnarok micro with these Zerglings is kind of great, as we've seen consistently throughout this game. Trying to get to the Marine, that was a little bit of a bull move.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bull move. Like, okay, as soon as I said that his micro with Zergling was great, he decided to suicide all of his Zerglings to get one Marine. Didn't even get that Marine in the end. And that was it. The command center slowed down by a lot. Like, Ragnarok right now is getting his fur base, and the command center has just finished in the natural. But after this, it doesn't really look like anything too big has happened. It's gonna be Ragnarok ahead in workers for quite a while. Mules are gonna be slowed down a little bit as well. But it doesn't really look like BYUN's build order is gonna be like too much slow down in the end just because of the command center. Especially since it's going for Banshee Cloak, which is more of a gas intense build than it is a mineral intense build. So I doubt he's gonna have too many problems heading to the mid game.
Yeah, I feel like this game has slightly tilted in favor of Ragnarok. I mean, he's ahead by over 10 workers.
Yeah,
basically, and yeah, and it's yeah, the Banshee tech has, I guess, somewhat hasn't been changed, as he was still, you know, kind of making his factory and starport. But I think Ragnarok, although as I'm looking at it, he hasn't started his lair yet. He's definitely gonna need some spore calls very soon, because if he doesn't have any detection for these Banshees, it can get a little bit ugly. All the advantage that he got in the beginning can basically be thrown away.
This is kind of a blind answer to some kind of 2-1-1 builds, like getting the Carapace upgrade and getting a ton of Zerglings. I mean, he's gonna have enough gas drop down a lair as soon as he feels like it. Now Spore Crawlers are gonna be dropped, but the Banshee has already made its way through the map. A bunch of drones are already falling, and yeah, they need to be actually moved to the natural, where the Spore Crawler is closer to being done. But even there, more damage is gonna be dealt by this Banshee. Oh my, 7-8 kills counting. That wasn't great for Ragnarok.
Do we have it? Do we have 11th? Do we have 11? Oh, he stopped microing there. Oh boy.
Oh, Banshee's in danger actually right now. There's still no... Oh my, it's gonna be 12.
Oh wow.
And that's also a lot of scouting information. Banshee survives with 5 health.
Oh my goodness.
Ragnarok is still ahead in workers, but that was always going to be the case. But right now he's dropping down the lair, he's halfway through. BYUN is getting so much production. Steam is halfway through as well. And creep spread is kind of looking nice. Yeah, Ragnarok has a lot of Zerglings. He's heading to a significantly stronger mid game than you would think after losing so many drones. But I still fear a lot for his well-being once BYUN decides to actually make a decisive maneuver.
Yeah, once those 5 racks start pumping out those Marines and those infantry units, I feel like BYUN is going to go for a pretty decisive and strong push here. Ragnarok, on the other hand, I still feel, yeah, he's still pretty healthy in the worker. I think he's just been kind of droning like a madman, and hasn't really suffered in terms of the income graph, as you can see. Basically still in favor of Ragnarok, but these Banshees are still alive, so I mean, these little pesky Banshees can definitely still get some additional drone kills into the future. Oh, he's gonna have to be careful not to walk and fly over these queens there. Oh boy.
He was definitely not expecting that, and he's definitely not expecting the Spire, which is placed in such a curious spot. Like, next to the Evo Chamber in the natural. It's not gonna be very easy to scout with just the Banshees. That's exactly where you wouldn't fly with a Banshee. So it's a very clever move by Ragnarok. This Spire is gonna be unscouted for quite a while. And BYUN in the meanwhile is gonna try to hit in the top right corner. RAGNAROK is gonna be having an Overlord and a Zergling on this path to scout his kind of move out by BYUN. Is gonna be moving his Zerglings just when he needs them.
Oh man, that creep spread is getting a little bit crazy here. It's making its way into the top and also to the mid, but a little bit work needed in the bottom side, but still, it's spreading out pretty quickly right now.
So is the army of RAGNAROK right now. Keeping up in army count with a Terran player going Aspire? That's a tall order. That's not something many players can do. And now that the first few mutalisks are done, BYUN is gonna be needing to keep some of his army back home to deal with those. Oh, they're gonna fly. Oh, wow. Yeah. Mutas are expensive. You don't want to lose them early on. You want to get to a critical number, but BYUN just too good on his maneuvers around these mutas. He's gonna get 4.
Oh.
Basically for... Oh.
If he didn't actually unburrow it, I think he could have gotten a meter list or two.
Just the 4 for now? Like, oh my, even more falling. Yeah, that wasn't the cleanest execution of a Spire play I've ever seen. RAGNAROK needs to force more of his resources into those mutas and dropping 22 more Zerglings just to use these minerals he has been hoarding over, basically. These mutas are really not gonna do much trying to shark for some free units to kill this night. BYUN is just a little bit too clean on his move outs. So right now he's looking like he has a pretty significantly stronger army. RAGNAROK still has a couple aces up his sleeve. He has a great creep spread. He can catch the movements of his army in time, and he can get a nice wrap around with his Banelings if he feels like it is going to be needed.
Yeah, now BYUN is adding in those doors to help counter against these mutalisks, but there are still a lot of Banelings left onto the map. He's going to definitely need some really nice Widowmine connection, and here we go. Banelings rolling in. Can he get those Widowmine connections that he needs? Ooh, a decent one right there.
Yeah, a couple of them were kind of good, but there's still way too many Banelings right now for this army of BYUN to really do much about it. And RAGNAROK is gonna be making even more of those. Just gonna step off for the time being. He needs creep spread in that direction. He cannot really afford to roll Banelings out of creep. Oh, this Widowmine is getting so close to getting shots, but not quite. And Banelings are gonna be sacrificed for the cause. They're gonna get all snapped down by that one Widowmine, not before getting a bunch of Marines down into the grave with them. And now the army of RAGNAROK looking kind of strong. Like, he's gonna be at almost 50 Banelings, and he already has 15 mutas. With an infestation pit being dropped down, both players gonna be heading into the late game scenario. Both players are gonna be on +2 upgrades for quite a while. BYUN started +3/+3, but it's not gonna be done in time for these big push of RAGNAROK. And here goes the Banelings, just on top of everything. Mayo army trying to micro past them. It looks like in the end BYUN is gonna take quite the great engagement, also saving a bunch of his Marines. Now it's time for the mutas to come and try to clean up whatever is left standing. There is still one tower up to deal with the mutas. A bunch of Widowmines as well have been dealing crazy damage, but BYUN still takes the shorter stick out of that engagement, I feel.
Yeah, I think some of those Banelings actually got a good chunk of those Marines. So as you saw at the front lines, there was pretty much no Marines left. Now he did lift off some Marines into those medevacs, so later they were dropped off and they were able to kind of help out and reinforce. But I mean, it's definitely not over yet. I feel like this could be anyone's game still. So it's really going to come down to kind of the latter stages of this game as we head into the over 12-minute mark.
Yeah, it's also most of it is in the hands of these mutas. Like, RAGNAROK has really been counting on these mutas to do stuff because he's been getting to 21 right now. He's not getting +2 air attack, which is kind of interesting, but he's gonna still get so much damage. So many SCVs are actually being under fire by these mutas. Meanwhile, he has quite a strong army over here. 27 more banelings in the making. And I feel like this is going to be quite a great fight for the Zerg player.
Yeah, so funnily enough, both players are expanding towards the south side. I guess nobody likes the North Pole. It's too cold there, I guess, even though this map is covered in snow. But yeah, it's going to be pretty important that both players can establish their south side bases here. We see that BYUN is already morphing in that planetary, actually throwing down a bunch of more CCs here. I'm expecting him to throw down some more planetary, but before BYUN can do so, Baneling's going to go ahead and dive in here on top of these infantry units. On the meantime, BYUN is attacking onto the north side.
Yeah, I feel like RAGNAROK was a little bit too eager to catch that, and BYUN is gonna try and punish him on the right side of the map, already getting one of these archeries, already getting a bunch of drones, I feel like, and canceling the +3 melee upgrade could be crucial for BYUN's stage of the game. A bunch of Zerglings are gonna be coming over here to try and clean stuff up. RAGNAROK is gonna use these mutalists to the best of their possibilities. BYUN, great fight. It's gonna get 12 drones down with him, but he's still not gonna get that Evo chamber. Still gonna get some damage over here since it's not on creep. Getting 2 bases was still pretty great for BYUN. And you've seen RAGNAROK having to use all of his bank right in an instant. Ultra's Cavern is gonna go down. +3/+3 is still gonna finish. Adrenal Glands is still gonna finish. But it was close. It was very close.
Yeah, basically in the end, they traded out 1 base for 2. So,
yeah.
I mean, really, Ragnarok doesn't have a lot of bank, right? So he's gonna have to make sure not to just, just lose his bases, because he can't afford to go down a bunch of, hatcheries right now.
Yeah, losing also a few of those mutas, not gonna really pay out in his favor. Not having +2 for air attack is gonna... It is actually already hurting RAGNAROK more than it is supposed. These mutas have proved themselves to be quite crucial to every single play RAGNAROK has made this far, and not having that second upgrade for their damage kind of hurting a lot right now. BYUN looks like he's been outmaneuvering his opponent in these last few minutes, and I am expecting RAGNAROK to just try to brute force past this game as soon as these ultras are out.
Yeah,
maybe a Baneling Rambai. That is a great choice as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, like you said, those ultralists, I think those are probably going to be the game changer right now. I feel like BYUN has yet to scout those, and although Thors and maybe some Widowmines has a few Marauders here and there, but he definitely needs a bit more to deal with those.
Oh, left corner, that's a lot of Banelings. That's a lot of Banelings. That's a lot of Banelings. And they still are up. They still are getting lives. They still are getting damage. That is great. 23 SCVs and 2 command centers being killed by RAGNAROK. Oh, huge Middlemine shot meanwhile in the top right hand corner. But RAGNAROK has already a lot of mutas, a lot of Banelings, and an Ultra out there. 54 more Zerglings in the making, and this Baneling count just never getting slower. Meanwhile, bottom left hand corner, his archery is in danger. Mutas and Zerglings are gonna be used, and that's some huge Widowmine shots on top of the mutas. This is already great damage being dealt by BYUN, but does he have enough on the top right hand corner to actually not be cleared off by the Banelings? That's a whole other question. BYUN is still ahead in army supply, way behind in worker supply, and even in upgrades. This base is super important for RAGNAROK. He must not lose this. Banelings come flying, well, rolling through, but these Widowmines are getting such huge shots on top of everything. Still, BYUN's army in the end is gonna be cleared. The mutas are gonna do the trick, and these medivacs are gonna be a problem of the past. Archery in the bottom is gonna be cleared in the end by BYUN, still getting some damage. still killing drones, but Ragnarok doesn't care. He's just striking past it and getting on these planetary. BYUN is gonna be on 3 bases right now, and his main army doesn't really look like it is supposed to clash with Ultras and Banelings in high numbers. BYUN army in the bottom side of the map is gonna be cleared. Both players take significant damage, but BYUN right now is only at 28 workers. Army supply still in favor of BYUN. Ragnarok needs to slow down, replenish his forces, and go for the finishing strike.
Yeah, effectively, BYUN is down to 1 base, really. I mean, all his minerals are pretty much mined out in his 2nd and 3rd. He's got to force to lift off his... I think he should lift off some of his main base or natural command center. Start getting those fresh mining bases, but in the meantime, he is going to go ahead and try to take down another hatchery here, which he is going to be successful in doing so. But there is also another counterattack here. Action everywhere on the map.
Yeah, these last few SCBs are definitely going to fall, but the army of BYUN is still kind of strong. Ragnarok needs more Banelings, way more Banelings than he has right now. He needs his whole army to clash on top of what BYUN has right now. And these few Zerglings with Adrenal Clans are gonna be posing quite a problem. They're gonna hide over here, maybe turning into Banelings to try and go for the finishing blow. Ragnarok, he's doing what he needs to do. He's waiting for the right moment. He's keeping his opponent honest with a bunch of Ultras and Zerglings. Both in the left and in the right side. Mutas are still striking, still dealing damage, but he still needs a little bit more because the army of BYUN is still kind of...
Alright, attempted another Ling run by, but that shall be cleaned up pretty easily as the Widowmine did get a nice decent shot. But Ragnarok, he is starting to build up that Ultralist numbers. Now, he is pretty low still. He only, I think, has 1 Ultralist out on the field. If BYUN can kind of take down that Ultralist while the rest are kind of lining it... Oh, actually, hold that thought. There's another huge Ling run by into the main base of BYUN, and he doesn't really have much here to defend against it.
Yeah, Adrenal Glands, Zerglings, heal structures so fast. He's gonna be using the next round of production to deal with that. Meanwhile, the rest of the army is being cut out by Ultras, Banelings, and Mutas alike. Huge Widowmine shots going on top of the Mutas, but these Banelings are not gonna be cleared easily. A good split by BYUN is gonna enable a lot of these Banelings to take inefficient trades, but inefficient trades are not enough for BYUN to win this game. Ragnarok way too ahead, and he's gonna be at match point.
Oh boy, what a game right there. That was pretty much a total of, let's see, what's the timer on that one? 20 minutes and 30 seconds about. Yeah, so that was pretty much as long as the game as we had today.
Yeah, and it was a great game for Ragnarok to make a statement, to say, even with such a action-packed game, with such a high-skilled micro player, I can still do my things, I can still deal damage, I can still take the upper hand of engagements, and I have to say, Ragnarok looking impressive in this game. Lots of tough decisions to make, and I feel like he made all the good decisions he needed to make to win the game, and it wasn't easy at all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ragnarok is 1 game away from clinching the series, so BYUN is definitely gonna have to win 2 straight if he wants any chance of heading into the finals to face against Cure. Of course, if that is the case, we'll have ourselves a TVT. But if Ragnarok does win at least this next game, or at least the next, or I guess this game or the next game, it will be basically a Ragnarok versus Cure final. So let's go ahead and head into game number 4.
Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide is a loser player playing for Alpha X, currently a match point, leading the series 2-1. It is Ragnarok.
Alright guys, spawning at the top right corner of the map is the red Terran player, hailing from Korea. Right now is just playing in his boxers. It is BYUN. I'm sure you're imagining right now him playing in his boxers.
Yeah, that's... yeah, alright. Pull first. From
Oh,
Ragnarok. Again. Gonna be trying to slow down the command center once more. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it definitely didn't look broken to me in the third game of the series.
yeah, it worked out pretty well for him. Almost got that Marine. Imagine if he was able to get that Marine. He would have been able to not only delay the CC, but also get some extra SCV kills.
And you know what? BYUN is not going for their Reaper again. It is very interesting to me. Like, even knowing that Ragnarok is playing such an aggressive stance today, he's still not getting the Reaper. He's still not forfeiting the chance to get a quicker bioproduction than it is usually. But now Ragnarok is gonna try and punishing even more, because this is a very early Ro4, and that can be very, very hard to deal with for BYUN unless he decides to go for Banshee again.
Oh boy, it looks like he is going to go for Banshee once again. He's got the factory up hidden onto the next to the Vespene geyser. Now usually if it's Hellion opening, you will see the factory being built next to the barracks, but once you see the factory kind of built away from the barracks, you know that it's not going to be a switch off between the barracks and the factory. In the meantime, Lings are... What? Wait, what's that Lings doing here? Oh, I feel like he could have gotten some slowdown on that CC. There was really nothing much there to defend.
He's waiting for the roaches to be out so that he can actually strike with his main force through. But I do feel like probably getting those rocks isn't the most important thing. Yeah, he actually stopped getting those rocks. I don't know. I'm kind of perplexed a little bit, but now the roaches are making their way through the map. He's gonna be having quite a sizable force, and BYUN is gonna be having his first Banshee out. He's gonna be starting Cloak soon after, maybe just to cancel it afterwards. So Ragnarok has this tiny window of timing in which he can really strike past, and now the aliens are making their way through, and that may be the worst thing possible that could happen to BYUN.
Oh
because
boy.
as they move out, Ragnarok sending both Ravagers, Roaches, and... well, both Ravagers and Roaches alike in, while these Zerglings are getting the supply depots. Roaches gonna focus down these SCVs and gonna focus down the supply depot to get the Zerglings in as quick as possible. Now Ravagers are gonna be starting to drop these vials on top of the supply depots and the workers alike. Banshee is gonna clear out both of the Ravagers. It's not looking nice for Ragnarok. Still, 8 workers down. Finally, supply depots gonna go down, but this doesn't really look like it's enough on Ragnarok's side. BYUN is holding fast. He's holding strong. Zerglings are gonna get into the main, gonna get a full scouting. But BYUN is really, really good on his holds. And this is his game to lose right now. Because just losing 8 workers doesn't really look like it's enough.
Yeah, BYUN not ready to get eliminated from this series, and it is going to be tied up 2-2 as we head into the 5th and decisive game.
Great hold by BYUN. Just twice in this series, he won games against some insanely aggressive build orders from Ragnarok. A Bailey bust, a Roach early timing, and now he's heading to game 5 with a victory. Score is tied, and man, this series has been looking so nice. Both players been playing so great, but are still so perplexed at the choice of Ragnarok. Twice in this series, he has gone for something cheesy and aggressive. Twice it has failed, because BYUN just has this solid early game holding power that it just looks unbreakable in the early game.
Yeah.
While Ragnarok is looking stronger in the late game, to be honest.
Yeah, funny enough. Actually, I would have thought it was the other way around, but...
yeah, same.
Yeah, it seems like BYUN is just holding off with not too much of a problem. Now, granted, remember, this is not something that BYUN was able to scout early on, so he did not have any intention or any clue, basically, that this was incoming. Yet, he was still able to hold, and that's one of the great things about that Banshee opening is that it is pretty safe against, you know, Roach Rush or, you know, like Baleen Rush, the previous game. So yeah, I really like that BYUN is going for more of that safer opening and has really kind of panned out very well for him against these cheeses, or I guess these rushes.
Yeah, indeed. BYUN looking strong in the early game. Let's see if he manages to get the victory he needs. But let's start off introducing the player in the bottom right hand corner here, Death Aura, playing for Alpha X. It is RAGNAROK. Finally going for a notch.
And spawning here at the top left corner of the map. He is the red Terran player. Now playing shirtless. It is BYUN.
Just on his block. Nothing else. Does he have socks on at least?
Oh no, he is
No socks.
no socks. All right, before we get into this game, just want to go ahead and remind you once again, guys, there is a Match Note link and page for this event. Make sure to head on over there, enter the coupon code, very easy and very quick. And also there's the replay pack in the marketplace if you want to go ahead and purchase the replays to these games. I believe it's only $5 or $3. I'm not sure. Somewhere around there. But anyhow, yeah, if you do want to do so and purchase the replays, do so. You can do so in the marketplace, and the replays will be available very quickly after this event has concluded.
Once more, RAGNAROK is going for the 6 links instead of 4, just to be a little bit safer overall against some kind of early aggression. And for the first time in this series, BYUN goes for the Reaper. He learned his lesson, it seems. Even though he got 2 very clean holds, he didn't want to take any chances this time. He's gonna be sending the Reaper for them. Actually, maybe it's the second timing.
Yeah, I believe the first game he went for a Reaper as well.
Yeah, it's... But, yeah, he's gonna be making this Reaper, try to get some Scotty, maybe get a Quick Tumor if it goes to that. Zerglings in the main, almost gonna get this around.
Oh, wow.
They do get this around. And Reaper goes down, so alright. Now I know why BYUN doesn't like going Reaper.
Well, to be honest, I feel like Reapers hasn't really done or gotten too much against Zergs these days because, you know, Zergs are right now so good at microwaving their lings and their drones, and then also the queens. Once the queens comes out, it's a bit difficult to get any scouts in, and also usually like a lot of Zergs has actually been sending out the third base drone a lot quicker. So, you know, the Reaper hasn't really gotten a lot of blocks. Assuming, you know, the Reaper doesn't go straight into the third base, but usually the Reaper goes into the main or the natural to kind of see what they can get in terms of damage. So then by that time, the drone is just making their third hatchery, and really nothing the Reaper can do about it.
And now look at this, RAGNAROK just pumping up a huge amount of drones. Just been making like 20 in the past 30 seconds or so. Gonna drop down the lair, get a third and fourth gas. And that's a very early lair. Like, this lair is gonna be finished even before it is usually started. And now Baleen Nest is gonna be under attack, Hellbat coming from BYUN. It's gonna be a little bit scary. There's a bunch of queens that are ready to deal with this. The Zerglings are gonna get a wraparound. The Medivac is gonna be actually fired upon by the queens. One of the queens is very ready now, but still gonna survive. They're a little bit too clenched upon themselves. They're still not gonna get much damage done onto them, but still, 2 of them are gonna fall. One of them is very ready now. He's gonna fall down to this Hellbat, and now it's drones fighting Elbats. They still win the fight, curiously enough. But there was quite a significant amount of queens lost. And you know what? That's also a pretty nice scouting by BYUN. Getting the view on that early layer into the main. And it's not stopping 4 Elbats right now striking at this hatchery at the third base. I don't know if he saw the Spire. No, he didn't see the Spire going down, but I feel like he might expect it. Like, he sees 4 guesses. Oh, he actually sees 3, but he's probably expecting it to be 4 with a lair this early. And back home, Steam is being started. Still, these Albats are still dealing damage. Another queen falls down. That's not great. Not great at all for Ragnarok. That's way too many queens. That.
Oh no, and even
the
Banshees too. Wow. This is getting a little bit crazy right now.
That's good scouting. Ragnarok is 8 workers behind right now. Okay, it's gonna be going down to 5. It's gonna be making so many drones at the same time. This archery at the third is so bruised as well. So orange in Elf. The Spire is gonna be seen. Double NG Bay for BYUN. It's gonna be making a ton of Marines. Probably gonna play it safe. Gonna drop down those missile turrets. A Thor is in the making. BYUN is looking strong this game.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's just basically BYUN's game to lose right now. I mean, definitely scouting the Spire early on, getting all that damage done. Really, I think BYUN kind of has his game in control, and as long as he doesn't blunder it too poorly, I think he should be able to finish Ragnarok off, unless these Mutalisks can actually find some weakness in BYUN's spaces.
Oh, I don't see many weaknesses though. Every single unit is right where it is supposed to be. The Tori is gonna be in the main to deal with this with a missile turret on the left side, Marines on the front, and a missile turret on the right side. It looks like BYUN's base is kind of impenetrable. Oh no, don't move those Marines out just when the Mutas get in. Still, the Tor is out. He's still gonna get damage, but these SCVs right now are not really well protected. There's a missile turret on the right, but that's kind of it. Ragnarok is gonna be tying up the worker count. He's gonna be making 14 more. He's gonna be making those upgrades. Gonna be trying at least to get an even mid game, even if he's still on even base as a Terran, and that's not what you want as a player.
Yeah, I don't feel like these Mutalisks has really gotten too much damage done. Now, the thing, you see Ragnarok does have a worker lead, but his 4th base is actually kind of late. So, after suffering the early game damage, has kind of prolonged his 4th base in favor of these faster Mutalisks. And again, these Mutalisks has really gotten very minimal amount of damage done.
Another +1 is almost done. I'm expecting Ragnarok to try to play a little bit more proactively with those, especially since more of them are coming. But yeah, BYUN is a little bit too much on top of everything. Like, Marines are heading in the right directions. The Tori is always there to react to the Mutas. And Ragnarok's worker count is not that high. He's on 66. BYUN is on 71. He's getting key upgrades. He's ahead in upgrades, actually. And Ragnarok is trying so hard to cut the corners. He needs to take some good trades to deal some damage, but BYUN is looking a little bit too much for him right now.
Yeah, and then once oh wow, that was actually a really well hidden Widowman there.
Yeah, and gets quite a beautiful shot on top of these Mutas. Like, 3 of them have already fallen. It's not looking great for Ragnarok. Still, like, this is not a lost game. This game is not over by any means, but this doesn't bode well.
Yeah, I mean, when the Terran players actually has a higher army supply, that never bodes well for the Zerg army that's going for Ling, Mutalisks, and Banelings. It really comes down to at least the Baneling hits, and with the micro of BYUN, I feel like his Marine split should be pretty decent.
Yeah, and it's not that many Banelings out as well. Like, there's quite the tiny amount. It's gonna be like a 28 or so, 29, almost 30. But there's not much else that he has in this main army. Like, look at BYUN. army supply growing so quickly. Ragnarok's army supply doesn't really manage to grow that quickly. 16 more Banelings and Zerglings and 2 Mutas in the making plus 2 air attack is gonna be the way Ragnarok will try to clean up this army. He needs to buy some time. He needs more Banelings. There's already a bunch of them which are going to be cleared easily. And BYUN has already pre-split his army to deal with the amount of Banelings that are gonna grow past. Meanwhile, a huge run by of Ragnarok is gonna happen on the other side of the map. Gonna go for a straight up base trade, it looks like. While these Banelings are gonna be cleared by a huge Wait Mine shot at the first base of Ragnarok. This doesn't really look good for the Zerg player. Still, he's gonna get damaged. One command center falls down. This actually is gonna fall as well, but there's already one in the making on the left side. And the army of BYUN may be sandwiched between the two different sides of the army of Ragnarok. Ragnarok decides better against it. There's not much Zerg army at all. And it looks like BYUN is just looking to brute force past the defenses of the Blue Zerg.
Yeah, Ragnarok is trying to get as much Banelings as he can to kind of hold off and door off this attack. But BYUN is going to go ahead and rejoin his other half of the army with his first half. And he's going to, oh, actually nice abuse of the kind of the low and high ground here into the main base. I love this.
Yeah, this is looking even worse for Ragnarok. The more time it goes, the more it looks like Ragnarok is doomed. He's been buying himself enough time to actually get a sizable army. I would like him to make even more Banelings. He's at 31 right now. The Mutas are actually getting some pretty interesting trades. Plus 2 really deals a lot of damage, but he's still gonna lose a bunch of them basically without getting too much done. On the other hand, BYUN is been dealing with a huge Zergling run by, which is getting some kills, which is getting some damage. Ragnarok's army is still not strong enough, I feel, to deal with the one of BYUN. BYUN is just gifting Marines upon Marine on the main base of Ragnarok. Time after time, he's gonna get this base on the left-hand side. But meanwhile, back home, Marines are still trying to deal with the Zerglings. 18 workers are gonna fall for the Terran, while 17 are gonna fall for the Zerg. Finally, it looks like Ragnarok has caught up in army supply. His upgrades are now even with the ones of BYUN. I feel like BYUN has kind of lost that window.
Yeah, he's a bit undecisive with his army onto the right side. And now these Widowmines getting picked off by these Mutalists. I feel like BYUN had the game in his grasp, but he is slowly but surely losing grip on it. And Ragnarok is doing a really nice job kind of coming back and climbing back into this game. Now, it's still not over yet. I still feel like it could be anyone's game, but it's going to really be up to what happens in the next couple of minutes.
It looks like BYUN finally goes for a decisive maneuver over here. There's a bunch of Banelings that are ready to roll through. Wait a mine shots all over the place. Banelings finally surviving those shots by the skin of their teeth. And the Mutas are so high in numbers they can fight Marines and Thors alike right now. This is not looking fine for BYUN. Base on the bottom left is gonna be remade by Ragnarok. And now these Mutas are gonna be coming flying down on top of the Medivacs. Gonna clean up this army of BYUN. And this is looking like a scary, scary moment for the Terran. This doesn't look like GG yet. The army of BYUN back home is still kind of strong. There's still a Thor, there's still a bunch of Widowmites, but these Mutas are dealing so much damage every time they get in contact with anything.
Yeah, right now, BYUN, I think he needs to expand a little bit, at least float. Yeah, looks like he's floating his main command center. But oh, really juicy Widowmine there. Doesn't quite get these Mutalists, but does weaken them a lot.
Yeah, missile turrets can clean up a lot of them, and Ragnarok slips off a little bit himself as well. BYUN is kind of trying to spread his Marines to deal with that. Meanwhile, Ragnarok back home is just trying to replenish his forces. He feels like he's on enough workers. He feels like he dealt enough damage. I would love him to drop down another base, but that's so many Banelings.
Yeah, that is a total of 52 Banelings there.
Bio army of BYUN is trying to do its best. Widowmine shots are gonna be so important, but the Widowmines are going down before they can actually do anything. Banelings still rolling through. These Widowmines are not getting the damage they want to get. Ragnarok takes a significant maneuver instead of slowing down BYUN even more. Mutas are gonna be down to the cleanup. It doesn't look like BYUN has enough right here. Defender's advantage can still kick in and do enough, but workers are falling in every single base of BYUN right now. Mutas are on top of the production. Ragnarok will need to back off for the time being, but that's a ton of damage.
Yeah, that is a really significant damage, kind
not
of
big
lowering BYUN's worker count to 33. Now there are those mules, but still you don't want to be down by over 20 workers. Now BYUN is desperately trying to hold on. He needs to stabilize if he has any hope of winning this game, and he does. I think finally stops and halts the momentum of Ragnarok.
Yes, better upgrade. So Ragnarok badly needs to stop sending units through. Like, this game is not over by any means. Ragnarok just kind of gifted every single one of his units.
Oh wow.